Now, what are the various types of tests which are conducted during the process of selection? Now, these tests basically could be regarding the mental abilities. There are certain positions, typically when companies go to these campuses, they have an aptitude sort of test. So there is a certain benchmark regarding the grades or CGPA of that student who's applying for the job. But then they also have their own benchmark that the person should be able to qualify that aptitude test. These cognitive or mental abilities are tested through an aptitude test, where you will find there will be some certain kind of questions related to general ability, general IQ, maths, English comprehensive, and so on. And there could be a motor and physical abilities test. Now, this motor and physical ability test could be, for example, you are hiring a person who is required to do a lot of physical work, or it could be something related to, let's say, in a workshop a person is supposed to weld things. Now you are hiring a welder. Now at least the person should have that particular knowledge of that whole process, so you could ask him to, you could just give him a material and ask him to weld it together. So that is sort of a thing will again test his motor and physical abilities and whether he is suitable for the job which he is applying for. Third could be the personality and interest, that is taken care of through various psychometric tests. Now, you would have also experienced or taken such kind of psychometric tests to test your personalities. The company also requires at times for various level, because they have earmarked or they know that these are the kind of quality of persons or a personality aspect which would be most suitable for that sort of job. So for example, extroversion, introversion. Now, one particular job could be which requires the person should be very social, person should be interacting with clients and the customers, the person should have some pleasant kind of persona. So all that sort of thing could be, I would say, just assessed, not because these are not the exact sort of thing which comes out, because a lot of things go into when the person is actually taking the test. So, but then still it gives a very true indication regarding a personal personality, and it could be a basis for selection. It can't be the only basis for selection, but yes, it could be one of the basis of selecting the candidate further for that particular job. And then of course the achievements, as in like what are the interests, what is the kind of achievement of the person who is so that is why when the interviews happen, these kind of questions are asked. Or the certificates, there are certain benchmarks that the person should have certain CGPA. Now that is what the achievement is, and that is a test which they have kind of a cutoff sort of thing which they have kept, which is there required for that particular position for which an employer is hiring. Now, others way of selecting or screening could be that there could be real life sort of situations given to the people who are applying for a job. So it could be simply as the work sample. As I said, a person is required to weld something. So that is a work sample that, okay, this is typically what we do and we would want. Or let's say another example could be that the work requires a lot of working on using Excel. Now, it could be a simple problem which could be handed over to the applicant, and he could be asked to use the software and solve that particular problem using Excel. So that is a sort of example for your work sample, wherein you monitor the performance directly, whether the person is suitable for that sort of job for which he is applied, and that is how you select that person for the next level of screening. It could be management assessment center. It is a battery of tests wherein it could be the person is asked to make a presentation, the person is asked to make a to be a part of a role play, which is typically that's a kind of situation which that job requires him or her to be in. So this is what assessment center is. Video based situational testing, something related to your simulation sort of thing. We had like he would be put in a situation which is actually like a real situation, and it is all virtual reality wherein he has to deal like training for the pilots. Now again, the pilot could be made to sit in that simulator where he's supposed to act as if he's actually flying a plane using that simulator, and looking at his movements and the way he is handling all the whatever meters and all the equipments he has around him, because it is all almost like a real thing. Only thing is that it is not actually flying the plane, but everything is as if it is actually happening through this virtual or video based sort of testing. Then miniature job training and evaluation, wherein you are this apprentice training. So they are put into, or your vocational training people, or even your SIPs, that is summer internship programs, when you're put there for a few months, you're working, and that is the time when the employers screen you that okay, this person is a good person and that can be easily fitted into the organization, and at times they are given these pre-placement offers itself. So again, in a bunch of interns, somebody is picked up, or a handful of people are shortlisted, and then they're given job offers. So this is again another example of selection process which is happening, and we need to make sure that these tests have they are valid and they are reliable. Now, it is not just a matter of selection. Any test for that matter which is there should be valid and should be reliable. Valid means that it should measure what is supposed to measure. Now, for example, if we are saying psychometric test, is it valid? Because if you want to measure somebody's communication ability, whether the person is extrovert or whether the person is introvert, so whatever questions are being asked, are they valid question? That is one thing. Second is reliable. Now, for example, if you are hiring for a management trainee kind of position in your organization, you design a simple aptitude test. Now, that aptitude test could have certain questions which are of the caliber of that person, of, let's say, MBA level person. You cannot give the same test to a person who is going to be hired for a position of a welder in your organization. Again, I'm using this term because we just refer to it. So for that non-skilled kind of work, is it justified that you use the same test? No, because it is not a reliable way to understand the capacity or the capability of a welder. It is more of a manual skill. Tests should be valid and reliable. You cannot have a weird test and say that okay, nobody is suitable or everybody is suitable. So that is what one needs to understand, that these tests needs to be valid and reliable. Now let's talk about the other selection techniques which we had listed down on the steps of selection process. First of all, let me refer to the background investigation and reference checks. Now, what are these reference checks and all? Basically, we will be checking with the former employers how the person performed. Typically, relieving letter is given. So we, as recruiters, we will go through that relieving letter, and we can also ask directly from the person to refer some names where he is working after he's given his resignation, that we can get in touch with and check what kind of performance or aptitude or behavior the person has. So credit ratings, and it all the things, simple things like your credit card bills if you have paid them on time, loans if you have are paying the EMIs on time, telephone bills and all, whether you are paying them on time or not. So all these things are taken into account somewhere, and you have a certain credit rating. So companies are very cautious these days, and they check the credit rating of the applicant as well. Written references, you might want to send emails to the people whom the applicant says it is okay to get references from. These days, even LinkedIn are very strongly being used, because that is where you put in those recommendations for a particular person, and the would-be employers or the recruiters, they check the profile of the applicant, and they get to see those references and recommendation out there, get hired. So this is the importance of your background investigation and reference checks. It is very important these days to have things checked. Then physical and medical examination, the purpose behind this particular step is that the person should be fit for the particular job he is being hired. He should not be suffering from any chronic kind of conditions which might be a cost to the company. One, that you are training and you are accommodating the new person in your organization, and then he starts taking sick leaves because he's not well. Second, there are many companies who are also giving certain medical kind of aid to their employees. It could be medical allowances, it could be in the term of insurances. So again, the moment the person is like, a sick person gets hired or selected, it becomes a major cost to the company both ways, that he's not able to attend to his duties, and secondly, the company has to bear the cost of the health related bills and all. So the everything done now, it the crucial step in selecting is your interview. Now when you're interviewing a candidate, lot of thing depends on interviewee as well as the interviewer. Now, it is basically an interaction between these two parties to know more about each other. It's not just one-way interrogation. It is that both the parties are interested to know what kind of future is there when they associate together. Now, administration of the interview becomes that way is very, very important, that when you are meeting up with the candidate, what is it and how is it that you are going to relate to that person, associate with that person, or interact with that person. It could be unstructured and sequential interview. That is, you have a certain question in your mind, but then if let's say you are interviewing 10 people for one particular position, you do not need to ask the same set of questions. It could be anything, whatever comes to the mind. It is more like a discussion which is happening. So you have no structured sort of thing which is there. In structured, you have a certain pattern of questions, and you, as an interviewer, make sure that all those questions are asked in that process, so that if all each and every 10 of the candidates have been asked the same set of questions, so that whatever responses are given, you can compare them and then you can reach a decision regarding the hiring of a person. Now, this could be a panel interview, or a person, one person could be doing it. So, in a panel, typically, as I said, it could be the line manager, it could be some senior management person, and it could be your HR person sitting together and talking to the person. It could be mass interview, as in that you have a group of people sitting together, and based on their responses, you again pick up, and then you can have one-to-one interview. Phone and video interviews. These days, we are all stuck with that. We are doing this. We are having telephonic interviews. We are having virtual interviews through your the Zoom and your Skype calls. Computerized interviews is typically when people talk and send their recording of their introducing themselves, why they want a job. So these kind of typical questions are sent to the person who is applying for that particular position, and the person records it and send it across to the organization. Now, web assisted interviews are basically similar thing. All these things are almost similar, that wherein that the person is through using the portals, through using various medium, which is as per the company's own structure, they are interacting with the people who are going to select him for the final offer. Now, this is all about selection. Let me know if you have any queries. Stay tuned for more content.